Hi, Prince, UK soft turn screen, time to sharpen the blades. Oh yeah. Today I'm looking at this kinetic chain. Now on YouTube and on Facebook there are a lot of people who are demonstrating certain techniques in martial arts where they seem to have this amazing mythical ability to put you on your backside. And in the old-fashioned days it was called the wave. And the analogy that I can give you is this: when they do body popping, you see the guys and they do certain kind of movements. Well, this boils down to kinetic energy and the kinetic chain. Now, kinetic is explosive energy. The kinesiology is a study of actually energy and movement. And chain, I mean, if you have something in a chain is linked together. Okay, so kinetic energy is this link of chain linked together, moving in a specific way. Now, a lot of sports scientists know about this, a lot of professional coaches know about this, but it seems to be like some kind of myth in the martial arts. And I see a lot of guys talking about this thing called the wave. That's the old-fashioned terminology. It is just the kinetic chain. The kinetic chain is a series of movements that happens from the ankle through to the knee, through to the hip. It transfers into the shoulder, through to the elbow, and dissipating through the wrist. Now, I've already shown this as a demonstration before on my Bruce Lee's 1-inch punch, but I'm going to demonstrate for you today again this kinetic chain. And I mean, pitchers in America, you know, the guys with baseball, who play baseball, they don't just swing the ball, they move like that. You see the difference? They don't just swing the bat, they go, they have this little, it's this movement. Bruce Lee was onto this way back in the 1960s because he was studying all latest psychology on this actual topic. Now, what we're looking at here, on the wooden dummy, what I've done, it's on a base of 10 bricks, or actually 11, and it's got a 7.5 kilo plate at the bottom there, and I've actually embedded it so as it moves differently. The whole block has to move now, okay, which makes it a little bit better for this demonstration. And I'm going to do the demonstration so as you can see my right side. But in traditional karate, they perform the Jiakazuki. Now, in that stance, what they'll do, I mean, say he's from Shotokan. In Shotokan, you go into quite a deep stance, okay, right? But the whole point is they're planting their foot, and the chain of energy is coming up kinetically from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the pivot of the hip, and that is where the power actually comes in martial arts and boxing. It's from the pivot of the hip. So once you've got the movement, this little kind of like this. So you got this and it comes through. That's what we're looking at. That movement there, okay? That's the kinetic chain, right? So with this 1-inch punch, okay, right? This is going to be a demonstration of the kinetic chain so as you understand it better, okay? So I'm going on this side, I'm getting myself in a nice stance, okay, right? And all I'm doing, I'm getting myself planted on the front foot, okay? What's going to happen now is as I twitch, as I move, as I put my force, the force is going to come through my ankle, through my knee, into my hip. As it comes through my hip, I get this twist. So if I just twist, my arm automatically just moves without doing anything. Okay? So that's what I'm trying to do. It's get that for the chain. But when you're actually delivering this technique, you deliver it with velocity and power. Now, we all go for perfection, and if you train, like a lot of myself and a lot of my friends, on your own, to perfect yourself, you can then use your perfection or the techniques that you've mastered with your clients or in front of your class. But you must practice doing this if you want to actually understand what it's about. Now, I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so I'm here, right? Notice I'm going to use my finger, okay, and the punch is going to from my finger from this position to there. Okay. I think you get the idea. You see, a lot of traditional martial artists are actually performing this, but then they don't realise. I don't see it so much in modern systems because they don't practice like the traditional guys do. But if you've got that traditional ability and you can relax away from the tradition, then of course you've got this fantastic ability. I mean, look at Anthony Joshua, right? All his training that he's just done for God knows how many weeks to win the world title, what he's aiming for ultimately is all that to come together for one shot that's going to be the one that puts somebody down. So we train in everything we do, the totality, for the delivery of what I've just showed you. If I was a standard karate guy, and I'm in this here, okay, right, and I throw this punch, as I, boom, you see what I'm doing? You see how it's coming out? That's what I'm doing, the kinetic chain. See? That's the kinetic chain. Anyway, I hope this explanation has been good for you. If you like the tips, subscribe and give me a like.